Test drive the new Saab 900 at your local Saab dealer.
Women's sexual fantasies tomorrow at 9.
This is Eyewitness News with Ernie Anastos, Kaidi Tong, Spencer Christian, Dr. Bill Gutch, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. Governor Cuomo tonight is waging a new battle in the war against AIDS. He is threatening to shut down gay bathhouses and the places that allow certain sexual activity that could spread the disease.
We think we ought to eliminate that activity as much as possible where it's involved with public establishments which profit from the activities that foster this deadly disease.
To ensure this, the governor wants state health officials to close down businesses where dangerous sexual activity takes place. Mr. Cuomo also wants to start a new public education program to increase awareness about AIDS.
Until scientists find a cure for AIDS, education will be our only vaccine.
Well, the State Public Health Council will review the governor's proposal, but these proposals are already the topic of discussion in New York's gay community. Josh Howell is back now with a reaction to Cuomo's new battle plan. Josh.
Ernie, although the governor had been threatening to close the bathhouses, he did not actually do it. So the reaction in the gay community is mixed tonight. There is actually more concern as to what else can be done to stop AIDS. By the way, there are some candid, frank sexual references in our report. It has become necessary to become more candid because of the severity of the problem.
Many gays are already avoiding bathhouses altogether. They say there are many other places to meet friends or strangers, and it's true. The gay community is like a small town unto itself in many ways. There are a number of gay clubs and gay bars, and there are areas where being gay is the norm and not the exception.
Oh, well, I don't believe that closing the gay bathhouses is going to be the answer, for the simple fact that people will meet and carry on as they have been always, starting with day one when man discovered man.
I don't like my lover going from one thing to another, to another, and to another. I would love him to be with me. I would like him to get checked, me get checked, and the whole book. That way we would know where we stand.
The governor considers anonymous or promiscuous anal sex to be the most dangerous, and health experts agree, because blood and semen often come in contact that way.
I think the problem basically is with people who are, when they know they have something and they're spreading it. I don't care if it's AIDS or syphilis or gonorrhea.
Most of the clubs did not want us to take pictures inside for obvious reasons. Many of the people inside don't want to be photographed in gay clubs. They don't want other people to know they are gay. Ironically, they told us that's part of the problem, part of the reason AIDS is spreading so quickly. Why? They say because society does not accept them, because they're forced to keep their homosexuality a secret, they tend to seek anonymous lovers. They tend to make love with strangers. That is an obvious way that AIDS can be spread.
A man who's married and has 2 kids can talk about the wife and the kids and have the pictures there. I had to lie. Because of that lie, I gravitated towards furtive and anonymous sex.
Most of the gays we interviewed agreed on 2 things. More money is needed for research to find a cure, and more education is needed. Education in the gay community itself as to what types of sexual encounter are safe. Ernie?
Thank you, Josh. And Mayor Koch has a suggestion on how to slow the spread of AIDS. He wants couples applying for marriage licenses to get tested for the AIDS virus. Koch says that couples should be aware of possible difficulties. Kaidi.
Well, the growing fear of AIDS is affecting a school in one New Jersey town. More than half the students at the Washington Memorial Elementary School in Washington Borough were taken out of class today by their parents. The reason? A 9-year-old boy whose sister has an AIDS-related complex was allowed to attend class today. The State Board of Education issued the order over protest by the local school board and the parents. An exhaustive investigation into charges of child abuse at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point is over tonight. Eyewitness News first broke that story a year ago. Now Louis Jean tells us even though federal officials admit there were cases of abuse, no one is going to jail.
Federal authorities say roughly 20 children complained of being sexually abused at the West Point Daycare Center. A federal grand jury spent nearly 5 months looking into those charges. Tonight, Eyewitness News is told no criminal indictments will be returned.
We endeavored very, very hard to make this case because of the obvious nature of the charges. The age of the children, of course, was probably the single biggest difficulty in piercing through and determining accurately and fairly what occurred.
3 adults were the grand jury targets, 2 of them former teachers at the daycare center. The victims were 2 and 3 years old at the time of the alleged attacks. 1 little girl brought to a hospital with vaginal bleeding. There was certainly something going on there, but the U.S. Attorney says the evidence just won't support criminal indictments. Army Dr. Captain Walter Grote and his wife Mary first told Eyewitness News about the alleged abuse at West Point's daycare center a year ago September. Tonight, they reacted to the grand jury's report.
Everything that we did regarding this issue, of course, was in terms of the love we have for our daughter, and regardless of what the grand jury did today, that will never change, and it's between this individual and God, you know, from now on.
We have to feel somewhat satisfied that it was verified that child abuse did occur at West Point.
The U.S. Attorney says even though no one will be criminally charged in this case, he wants to provide enough information to West Point officials for them to take administrative action against individuals. Louis Young, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Coming up next, diplomacy at the United Nations, dinner at the Waldorf, and why President Reagan may soon become a star in the Soviet Union.
We were talking baseball. Woody, here's your expense money. And bring back a heavy hitter.
On your way to another town, you can't spend a lot, but you know how to get around. Avis makes it easy, easy on the traveler, yeah.
Avis tries harder. Our super value rates give you more for less.
Bush leagues, college towns, and lots make the rounds.
Brian, number 2.
Avis makes it easy, easy on the traveler, yeah.
Woody, the kid's great. Who tipped you off?
His mother. Avis, so easy.
Here's the number to the shop.
Thanks. I'll call in the morning.
When a car repair isn't done right, you lose more than money.
Well, we might as well check in.
Next time, see a Shell Auto Care dealer. He wants to fix your car right. Because if he doesn't fix it right, he has only 2 options. Fix it again or give your money back. At Shell Auto Care, it's fixed or it's free.
TWA has close to 600 flights a day in the U.S. So chances are, wherever you're going, we're going.
More politics and partying going on tonight by world leaders here for the 40th anniversary of the United Nations. The highlight of today's activities was a meeting between President Reagan and the Soviet foreign minister. John Johnson is at the Waldorf Astoria right now, where the president is staying, with late details. John?
Well, Katie, there are persistent but unconfirmed reports circulating here tonight after the meeting between President Reagan and the Soviet foreign minister this afternoon that President Reagan may be allowed to speak to the Soviet people on Soviet television. Now, it is an unconfirmed report coming on this a day and a night of high-level diplomatic maneuvering.
The president appeared in good spirits tonight with Canadian Prime Minister Brian Mulroney. Mulroney had been part of an earlier meeting between the president and the Western allies. For almost 2 hours, there was an exchange of views by the leaders of the 5 Western democracies on the prospects for President Reagan's upcoming meeting with Soviet leader Gorbachev next month.
While President Reagan was hosting a private, no press invited dinner for the Western allies here at the Waldorf Astoria tonight, the impact of the speeches given by the president and the Soviet foreign minister before the United Nations earlier today gave clear indication of the tough and opposing positions both countries will take at the upcoming Geneva conference.
While Mr. Reagan put forward new initiatives for resolving regional wars like Afghanistan, Cambodia, Nicaragua, and Angola, he blamed those conflicts on the Soviet Union.
They are the consequence of an ideology imposed from without, dividing nations and creating regimes that are, almost from the day they take power, at war with their own people. And in each case, Marxism-Leninism's war with the people becomes war with their neighbors.
Then it was the Soviet foreign minister's turn. Shevardnadze criticized the Reagan Star Wars plan, proposing instead what he called Star Peace.
The Soviet Union is proposing a world without weapons in space. The Soviet Union is proposing a world where nuclear arms would be radically reduced and then eliminated altogether.
Later, the two men met for a private 30-minute conversation, which was friendly and marked by Shevardnadze, saying that there had been some positive seeds sown in the meeting. In the meantime, the president was getting high marks for his dealing with the Soviets by the First Lady of the Philippines.
It was a very good speech, and it makes us very confident that...
Now, while all of this high-level diplomacy is going on, there is a footnote to all of this. President Reagan will be leaving New York tomorrow after wrapping up this round of diplomatic meetings and such, but he is going to do one thing that's awfully nice, and that is he is bringing the widow of Leon Klinghoffer here to the Waldorf Astoria to give her his personal condolences. Live from the Waldorf Astoria, this is John Johnson on the Reagan Watch. Heidi?
All right, thank you, John. With all the activity at the UN, it was another rough day for traffic in Manhattan, especially on the east side. Things may be just as snarled again tomorrow, which figures to be another day of coming and going at the UN. But the good news, as far as traffic is concerned, is that President Reagan and his entourage will be leaving tomorrow, so traffic should be back to normal by the weekend.
Well, there was some coming and going this past week by Assistant Secretary of State Richard Murphy that might lead to some pretty good news. We have word tonight that Murphy went to Jordan for a secret meeting with King Hussein. He is back now amid signs of a breakthrough in Middle East peace efforts. That's what he reportedly told Secretary of State George Shultz today here in New York. To South Africa's President Botha, the outlook appears a bit brighter tonight. He says that he will lift the state of emergency in several areas. Botha acted several hours after a day of rage in Cape Town, which began with a protest by mixed-race women joining several hundred students. Police ordered them to disperse, and then they turned water cannons on them. This angered the students, who overturned 2 vans and pelted police with stones. But helmeted police then began whipping and clubbing everyone on the streets, including 7 foreign TV crews who were arrested.
Next, Dr. Bill Gooch has the forecast and the newborn baby with a very unusual smile.
Hi, there you go. Hey, dear.
The story of a 2-month-old baby boy snatched from a crib at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital last Sunday has a happy ending tonight. An anonymous tip led police to a Manhattan apartment where tiny Christopher Morgan had been taken. 27-year-old Antoinette Reed was arrested on kidnapping charges for allegedly taking the child. Police say Reed had recently lost a child of her own.
This is a woman, a mother of 3, who had a sad personal background. Apparently, about 2 weeks ago, she went to Harlem Hospital to deliver her 4th child, and the child was stillborn.
In an unrelated case, police in Brooklyn are still searching for a newborn infant girl who was taken from her mother's arms at gunpoint Monday night.
Well, a 3-day-old baby girl in Detroit is getting even more attention than most newborns, and that is because she has got a pretty smile. In fact, she's got a pretty toothy smile. Take a look. The infant was born with 8 teeth. Now, baby teeth don't usually appear for at least 6 months after birth. Doctors in Detroit say that it's rare to see so many, 8 teeth, and so early. Maybe we'll start doing commercials for toothpaste, I guess, pretty soon. Anyway, put a smile on our face for tomorrow. Get some nice weather?
Yeah, tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday, lots of smiles all around the area.
Okay.
Happy to say.
All right.
We're going to get back to this sunny stuff. We had one kind of day with some clouds, and here's the latest satellite image, and they're right smack dab over us right now. Some showers in these clouds, most of it light, but occasionally our weather watchers reporting a brief heavy downpour here and there. The clouds are mostly right in the metropolitan area now. Then there's a little break, and you see some more with some more showers out in western Pennsylvania, all pushing eastward. Should be done with us by dawn, and behind it, as you can see, it gets really lovely out here. Here's the radar showing the light showers with a few embedded heavier things. Again, moving off to the east at about 30 miles an hour. Nice clip, and they're going to keep going right out to the fish. Here are the frontal systems on the national map that are bringing the showers our way, but being pushed out by an intense low-pressure system, and it'll rain out on the fish for the weekend. High pressure, 2 big mounds of it moving in, and they'll spend 3 days with us. Here's the national satellite image. And from western Pennsylvania to California and probably all the way to Hawaii, it's clear and sunny, and that's coming our way for 3 wonderful days. So, in the wrap-up, in the forecast for tonight, scattered showers, some patchy fog is possible as we head toward dawn, low around 55 to 62. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, high temperature in the 60s. Tomorrow night, clear, quite chilly under those clear skies, around 45 city and with a sea breeze near the coast, but down into the 30s, especially in those northwest inland valley sections. And on Saturday, the beginning of a fantastic weekend. Sunny, high in the 60s, and we'll duplicate that for Sunday, for the marathon, and all kinds of other neat outdoor activities. Heidi.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Next, Spencer with the sports, including Corey's live report from the World Series in St. Louis. Coming up.